Hello, hello, grown folk, children, and babies. Welcome back to CallMeNakomi World. I am CallMeNakomi, and I'm so happy and blessed to have you back with me for another episode. Today, we are going to be talking about Wheel of Time, Season 2, Episode 1. This is going to be my review episode. I am so happy to have you here. I am so excited that this show is back. They released the first 3 episodes on Friday, this past Friday. So I am basically reviewing them one at a time just so I don't get ahead of myself. And I am going to be releasing each one of these reviews as the episodes come out. But here we go. With the episode. First, before I start, please go ahead and like this video before you go on. I appreciate it. Maybe you might want to wait until the end to go ahead and like it. I appreciate it. I completely understand. Integrity. Ethics. I feel it completely. But go ahead and like it if you start to feel the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and like, and you can leave a comment. I really, really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so before. You know what I mean? I've gotten plenty of views on some of my videos, basically, but I haven't gotten as many, subscribers. I'm trying to boost that, of course, baby steps, and I'm not trying to expect more than what I get. I get what I earn, and that's basically what I hope. You know what I'm saying? But I also appreciate you guys to like and drop a comment, with whatever questions or ideas or comments that you might come up with as you watch the video. And please subscribe to the channel. And also, it truly helps if you can share this video. If you really like it and you thought it was vibing, go ahead and share it. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate it all. Absolutely. Also, remember, I'm going to be dropping this also on my podcast, CallMeNakomi World podcast, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can find me everywhere. I'm everywhere you want to be. I'm in the streets. I'm everywhere. You ain't never there. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, give me some good ratings. I really appreciate it. Just let me know what you think and how you feel. Also, you can follow me at CallMeNakomi on Instagram, or CallMeNakomi1, the number 1, on X or Twitter, if you basically don't know what X is yet. And you can also just send me an email, CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Just that simple. Go ahead, do that, and I really appreciate it. Also, just in case, right before you start, if you haven't seen my post, if you want to play some fantasy football, please go ahead and hit me up on my email, CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. We are going to be putting together a league, if I could find enough people, and it will be very, very fun, because I'm going to be talking about sports. I'm going to be talking about fantasy football. I'm going to be talking about basketball, my Lakers, my favorite team in the world, my Giants, my hometown team, you know what I mean? And lots of different things about sports. Of course, my Penn State team basically did well yesterday. They won their game, and they're number 7 in the NCAA right now ranking. So, we good start for all my teams right now. So I'm going to be sharing all that with you. If you want to play fantasy football, hit me up on an email. Let me know so I could basically go ahead and join and let you join. Okay. And we're going to get started then with this episode review. Okay. So episode 1, season 2, let's get started. It starts off immediately with a little girl basically playing outside of a house. It was a really cool looking house, kind of star shaped basically. And she's outside, she runs out the door. She's playing hopscotch and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then out of nowhere, you see something moving in the woods, and out of nowhere, 3 Trollocs just come busting out, running towards her. And so she heads back to the house and gets inside and runs up underneath the table. And next thing you know, who's at the table? Basically, it's the Dark Friend Social. Gotta love it. Keeping with book 2, started off with the Dark Friend Social. So that's a great thing, basically. And at the Dark Friend Social, basically, Ishii is updating his troops on Rand, and basically saying he's born, he's out there, he's living. We got, something got to be done, and this is what we're gonna do. He's basically giving them, their marching orders. He didn't mention anything about Matt or Perrin, which I found interesting, but that basically kind of goes with the books. Oh, before I go on, spoilers. I've completely forgot to talk about that. Spoilers. So basically, I'm just going to be spoiling the whole first episode. We're just going to be doing spoilers as far as that. Obviously, I don't know what happens in episodes going forward. So, spoilers for the show. But I think if you're read if you have read all the books, then basically you might catch some other spoilers here and there. But it's not really spoilers. It's just basically little things here and there that I might mention that if you read the books, then you might catch it. Odell Beckham. Anyway, all right, going back to the show. So, they don't mention Matt or Perrin. Maybe they don't really know anything about that. Maybe the Aes Sedai may actually know more than the Dark Friends right now. Basically present at the meeting is a Shanshan High Lady. It looks like it's a woman, I feel. Although I think the men also do have long fingernails, but they had long fingernails, and basically, so I assume that's a Shanshan High Lady. Long fingernails, higher in the blood. Aes Sedai also, because you see wearing a ring, and it's a serpent ring, and I think it actually had a black stone. I'm not exactly sure. I need to go back to watch it again and just double check what color the stone was. Someone from Shinar, it looks like, because they had on a Black Hawk robe, the yellow robe with the Black Hawk on it from Shinar. So there it is. And creepy ass Podden Fane. Of course, basically just smiling at people and just like, come on, dude. Just like chill on that, man. Just reel the creepy back. Just reel the creepy back, bro. That's all I ask. And there somebody's asking basically, should we kill him? Asking should they kill Rand? And he's just like, not yet. He basically wants to turn him. So he's just like, he wants to use him. So he's not given any instructions or permissions to basically kill Rand. And out of nowhere, basically, Ishii decides to notice what else is going on in the room, and the girl basically that's underneath the table cowering and realizes that she's down there. And he's wearing this really cool 3-finger ring, which I noticed it kind of looks like the ring that Lews Therin Telamon was wearing in season 1. Somebody basically could confirm that for me if that's what it is. It's a real cool 3-finger ring, and at first I was just like, is that the ring of Termelin? Not exactly sure. Is she the biter? Anyway, moving right along. Basically, he takes her out to the Trolloc petting zoo outside and brings her up to pet a Trolloc in the face like it's all good. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, he about to feed her to the Trollocs. This is real grimy. This is basically right on brand and what I was hoping to see. But no, they're losing their edge. That kid should have been gone immediately. The kid should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? They got to step their game up to Game of Thrones level. You know what I'm saying? Grab some Quakers and let that kid die. Anyway, move on. So basically, I'm gonna go, instead of jumping back and forth like how the show kind of does, I'm gonna basically just stick to the characters and what's going on, and stick to basically those kind of groupings. So next group I'm gonna basically talk about is Moraine, basically doing her Jack and Jill, going up the hill to fetch a pail of water. And basically, she's working hard, you know what I'm saying, by herself, just basically going up hills and stuff like that, keeping her skin moisturized when she gets to the top. It's just so hot, and she's just, putting the water on her face, and the water's just running all over her body. You know what I'm saying? Keeping her skin moisturized. I'm not mad at it at all, basically. And then she goes all Shaolin monk style with the 2 pails across her back on a pole, basically, and carries it back up the hill, looking all strong and cut and stuff like that. And I'm like, ugh, Swan, you in danger, girl. When she comes back with all that, I'm saying your girl's been putting in work in the gym. So be careful, girl. Anyway, all that for a bath. And I understand. Sometimes, it'd be really easy if you was, Aes Sedai or whatever like that, basically. But she's gonna work hard for her money. I'm not mad at it. Basically, she does her work, and I've been there too. Being in certain countries where basically running water isn't really accessible. So I've had to basically carry in pail after pail after pail of water. Put some in a huge pot to basically boil just to bring that water above freezing. That's been in a huge ass tank for who knows how long, and to basically probably boil off all the parasites inside there. Whew. What we do for a nice bath, but I tell you. Anyway, basically she's still blocked by Ishii, and when she's in the bath, it looks like she's trying to channel, but nothing's happening. So I feel real bad for her, but it is what it is, I have a feeling that Moraine will be fine. I have a feeling. Somehow I have a feeling deep down that no matter what happens to Moraine, she's going to be fine. I mean, why would Rosamund Parks basically sign up for that unless it was basically the legendary role of Moraine Damodred? Anyway, basically, so she's basically just sitting there, like, looking like she's just dying. She's backed up with power and she just wants to use it. And they're out at basically a Mediterranean girls retreat. It looks like it's a really beautiful house in the country. It looks like, there's palm trees and bushes and it's like nice climate and desert type in certain areas, so it looks like a really nice place. And Lan is out there in basically out by himself practicing the sword. Basically it looks like he's basically internalizing the pain that he feels from Moraine. So he's basically just working through his sword forms, trying to basically cope, like Moraine is doing in his own way, though, obviously. And then Varen is there, of course. Oh my goodness, Varen! I was so excited. I was like, ah, yes, we have Varen. Thank God we have Varen. And she's being played by Maren Sayal. So I'm Sayal. I'm so sorry. I am not good with saying some names. I'm doing my best. Pray for me. Anyway, Varen is being played by Mira Sayal, and of course they got their girl Adelius with there, and she looks like she is hungover, absolutely hungover, and she's being played by Nyla Aliyah. It looks like. That's how I'm going to pronounce her name, Nyla Aliyah. And she is out there. She is tasting Lan with her eyes. Basically, she's all over Lan. Like, I'm telling you right now, if I was younger, or if he was older, or who cares? Age ain't nothing but a number. Okay, Aliyah. Anyway, and then basically another rider rides up to the horse towards the house, and they assume that basically it's another rider for Moraine. Apparently she's had 20 over the past couple of past few months, I'm assuming. And basically it feels like, they're definitely it feels like they're mixing parts of book 2 and book 3 in this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen basically throughout these books, throughout these seasons, basically, actually. And Varen is curious, of course. Varen is curious to find out what are these writers coming to tell Moraine. Lan, have you heard anything? And he's like, she hasn't told me nothing. So he basically goes to go escort the writer into Moraine. And Moraine is basically in this huge library of their house, basically doing research. Back to I'm about to say Vandine and Adelius. Back to Varen, Vandine. Makes sense. I mean, it writes itself. Varen and Adelius, weren't they a green and a brown? They were sisters. So Varen is a brown and Adelius is a green. I'm assuming the way she was ogling Lan. I'm assuming that's probably a really good guess. Basically living together in a house, huge library, and I thought it was really, I was like, interesting. So basically she's doing research, and he brings in the writer, and this one basically is from Ilion, and his name is Bael Doman. It do be Bael Doman. It do be do. Anyway, I love it. Whenever I do that, my daughter's just like, why are you talking with that kind of accent? I'm just like, it do be my language. Fortune prick me. Anyway, that the Bael Doman, which did a great job. The actor is Julian Lewis Jones. Great job, Julian. That's my brother's name. Anyway, they talk, and basically she is after Hearthstone, Quendiar. For people who read the books, I'm not sure if they're going to call it that, but Hearthstone. And he says that basically he just so happened to have a piece that's broken, and basically back out to Lan. Lan basically is out talking with Tomas, which is a water staying with them. Tomas, which from the books is Varen's water. He's an older guy, up there in age. So and they're talking about Moraine and what's going on. And basically, I find it interesting, the dynamic, just trying to figure out Varen, Tomas is supposed to be Varen's warder, and, in the books, and, there's no Van Dien. It's just interesting, kind of trying to piece that whole thing together, figure out where exactly they're going with the season. And then back to Moraine, and basically the Heartstone piece is part of a bigger piece that was broken apart and was actually covered in blood with a poem or something. That's what he said. It was a poem, and it was written in blood in the old tongue. So crazy. But he actually wrote down the poem, and he's willing to sell both pieces to Moraine. She realizes, and she says, I'll just take the poem. 50 marks versus 1 mark. I'll take the poem. I'm not mad at that at all, basically. Then she inquires about his situation, did anybody see you take this or like that, or if anybody following you? And he basically said, yeah, come to think about it, I had some hooded men following me the whole entire time since then. And she gave him some money. She basically was like, okay, well, here's some money, beat feet, get the stepping, bro. Go ahead and get going as soon as you possibly could. Lan comes basically to speak and check on Moraine, find out what's going on, and basically she's just being cold and just, without better terms, she's being a bitch. It is what it is. I said it. It is what it is. It's okay. Y'all know that I don't mean it to completely derogatory, but if a person's acting that way, a person's acting that way. Okay. So anyway, Lan comes to check on Moraine, and then basically he breaks his cool, just being so frustrated with the way she's treating him. And she basically tries to act cool in her usual, Aes Sedai way, trying to basically mask all of her pain that she's feeling on the inside. And it's just like, dude, why don't y'all sit down and talk to each other? I know it's a crazy concept. Talking and communication in the Wheel of Time. I digress. Basically, and she tells him, bring me my dinner up to the study. And he's just like, make it yourself and eat wherever the fuck you want. I'm not mad at that, Lan. I'm not mad at that. You ain't just gonna sit down and take it. Plain and simple. You got it. You know what I'm saying? You know who I am? A landman dragon and landman dragoman on a line. You know who I am? Last Lord of the Seven Towers. What? Get it yourself. Eat whatever the hell you want to. Anyway, later on, Lan's outside basically having dinner. And of course, basically, Adelius and Van Dien are, they live together and they're just having a good time talking to each other. I love Adelius and Van Dien. I mean, not Varen and Adelius. I love those two. They are funny. They are absolutely funny. And I hope neither of them die anytime soon. That'd be nice. And I'm really enjoying Varen. She has a really, really nice demeanor for Varen, basically. She's nosy, but at the same time, she's calm. And it just seems, it's just all about academics for her. It's all about academics and just curiosity because she's a brown. I love it. Anyway, come to find out, Moraine decided to dip out. She just basically just grabs her, gets on her horse and rides out, bro. And then, but at the same time, she's riding and runs into a fade. She gets dropped down off of her horse, and basically she tries to hide behind some rocks, and then out of nowhere, you see the fade disappear into the shadow. That was awesome. I don't think they showed that in the first season, but that was awesome because you basically could see how they basically could just disappear into a shadow. That was cool. But they finally find her, and she takes out her belt knife, and she basically jabs him in the head. Crazy. She got Green Beret skills. Let me find out. I mean, well, she's been with Lan long enough. She better know how to use a knife and a sword. I'm just saying. Or else you've been wasting your time. Because what happens when you basically can't channel? Rand. Good thinking. Anyway, so she takes one out, but then basically, and also, it was a little too easy though. It's a fade. You know how hard it is to kill a fade? Plenty of people have died. Plenty of sword masters have died fighting fades. And she took one out with a belt knife, bro. Well, whatever. I'm here for it. No doubt. She took one out. Maybe you have to already be dead to kill a fade. That's a secret. Anyway, then she turns and basically gets slashed by another one though. So, it's short-lived victory. But Out of nowhere, Lan comes in and saves the day and basically battles several Fades at the same time while she basically huddles on the floor. And sooner or later, though, he is disarmed himself, and because he's outmatched fighting 3 Fades. And in dire need, Moraine basically reaches out to the source and tries and thinks she actually finally found the source as she sees some threads basically rising up around her hands. But nope, it's Varen. Varen is a true hero of the story, as always. And basically, Landis is there sitting there wondering, like, what aren't you telling me? Like, what is going on? And I feel like a really big part of this season, at the very least, especially when dealing with Moraine, is going to be thinking about what exactly comes of an Aes Sedai who can't channel. You know what I'm saying? They touch on it here and there in the book series, basically, but actually going with an Aes Sedai while she's basically dealing with... Apologies. Sinus infection. Sorry, guys. Anyway, what happens with an Aes Sedai when she can't channel? She's still an Aes Sedai, absolutely. But at the same time, she doubts herself. She feels sorry for herself. She pushes people away. Kind of sounds like a male channeler. I kind of know. It's interesting. I wonder. I'll let you know when I remember what his name is. Anyway. So I think that's going to be a theme throughout the whole entire season. At least, hopefully, not the entire season. Hopefully, some kind of way they figure out a way to break it. Maybe Nynaeve does it. I wonder. She's kind of skilled at stuff like that. I wonder. Anyway, to the next group. Perrin. Perrin basically is out with Loyal, and they're out on a plane, basically, with some horses around them. And actually, they're obviously hunting for the horn. They're after Padan Fain and his dark friends trying to hunt down the horn because he cannot have it. The light needs to have it so they can use it to fight the last battle. And Perrin's beard is coming in quite nicely. I kind of like that, better than the scruffy little thing that he kind of had earlier. Of course, it takes time. I get it completely, but I wonder how big they're going to let that beard get. We'll see. Anyway, and who else he'll meet along the way? I wonder. Anyway, basically he has some letters that he's writing to Egwene and Nynaeve. Loyal comes up and asks about them. So he's writing letters to Egwene and Nynaeve. He says that basically they're all he has left since Mat and Rand are basically gone. He doesn't know who's left. As far as he's concerned, Rand is dead. And Mat is gone, so who knows what's going on with them. All he has left from his village is basically Nynaeve and Egwene, especially since Layla is gone too. So he's just trying to cling on to whatever he could find. And basically Lord Ingtar, of course, is basically leading the search for the horn. And Uno is flaming unhappy with the new tracker that they have. Is it Heron? No, it's not Heron. Nope. It's Elias Machira. He is actually, they call him a sniffer. And he's the wolf brother, of course, from the stories. And he's played by a man named Gary Battle. I can't wait to basically see how that story unfolds with Perrin and Elias. And he also has the golden eyes. And thank God jaundice is basically not contagious. At least I don't think it is. And basically he comes across a group of dead tinkers. I think they're tinkers. I'm assuming they're tinkers. They were just basically, they were just there. The clothes didn't specifically look bright and odious. But anyway, basically Perrin, when they're looking at the tinkers, Perrin out of nowhere hears like a wolf howl, and then he basically gets a glimpse of the whole scene of basically the battle where these people died. And also he sees a little girl run away, and Fain is basically killing them all. And I'm thinking that girl is probably the child that got away is probably maybe the girl or the girl from the beginning scene that Ishii basically is babysitting. Isn't he nice? You gotta love him. Anyway, later, basically the hunters are burying the dead, and along with the dead dark friends. And Perrin asks, "You're not mad with them?" Basically, they let the Trollocs into Faldara. You're not mad with them? And he's like, they deserve to be buried too. And I don't know, man. He's a sympathizer. I feel I feel like you got to be wary of him. So I'm not mad that Perrin is wary of him. So that's that one. Then the next group that we go on to is Egwene in the tower in novice dress, doing chores around the tower. Then I kind of got flashbacks of Samuel Tarly in the Citadel when he was basically emptying chamber pots. Sorry. It grosses me out every time I think about it. It's just absolutely, that's a horrible scene. Definitely not for me, being a novice or whatever they call them, an understudy or whatever the heck they call them in the Citadel. Not my tea. Not my tea. Anyway, she's basically this cleaning around the tower. She's in the Armelin's room straightening up, and she spots the Armelin's beautiful golden robe that she wears, and she stops basically to admire it and daydreams a little bit, and just daydreams a little bit like, one day. So I'm not mad at it. High hopes. Do your thing, girl. She basically curtsies as she walks through the halls to sisters as she passes them, and she provides housekeeping duties basically to Alana and her harem, who actually were still in bed at the time. She gets a little, probably red-faced and leaves as quick as she can. You know what I mean? So, Alana and her little small harem, you know what I'm saying? But pimping ain't easy. I don't know if y'all knew that, but pimping ain't easy. But you'll probably have about a third or fourth water sooner or later. Probably real soon. We'll see. Basically, but anyway, she then passes basically the water training yard, which actually kind of looks like the hall of the tower, but they turn it into a sandbox. But it's okay. It was cool. It was cool. And then she meets up with Nynaeve in the kitchen. She's actually doing dishes or something in the kitchen. I can't remember exactly what it was. But Nynaeve asks, Egwene asks her if she's spoken to the Armelin, and she says no. And she said, all we do is clean, basically. And basically, Egwene says that it builds character, and Nynaeve says, I have enough character. Yes, you do, Queen. You don't need media labor to teach you who you are. Anyway, what'd you call it? So then Alana comes in to the kitchen where a bunch of novices are there huddled around the table trying to clean, and she basically pops in with a pop quiz and for all the novices, and asks them what are the five threads of the power of the one power. And one of the novices, I was hoping that maybe they would have named that novice, but they just had it as novice. So she says air, earth, fire, water, and spirit. And then basically she gives a test where she's just like, okay guys, you can't leave here until you basically can turn a glass of this dirty water into a glass of clean water. And you got to drink it. So basically she demonstrates basically with the different colors, she uses earth and water, and each thread had different colors, and I love that because I kind of feel like they didn't really do much of that in the last season. It was mostly just like white or coppery or tinged with black if it was tinged with a taint or something like that, basically. But she uses her Brita filter weave and basically produces some quality H2O. Yeah, some quality H2O. Nynaeve basically has trouble, of course. Not everybody is able to do it, and the novices are trying, basically. But Nynaeve doesn't even seem that she can even grasp the power or touch the source, basically. And so she's obviously dealing with a block there. And so she's dealing with a block. But through the conversation with her and Egwene, basically, we come to find out that they've been in the tower for 5 months now, basically, and she hasn't channeled since coming back from Faldara. And we learn from Alana that she's actually 10 times stronger than Egwene. I don't know exactly if they do have a scale, basically, that you can find, but I'm not sure if it's 10 times, but if she's 10 times stronger than Egwene, wow. That's crazy. Anyway, Nynaeve can't do it, so she basically she takes the dirty water and she drinks the dirty water. Bloody stubborn much. I mean, she's just like, when she has her feet down, she's just like, you can't budge me. I'm I'm better than you are. Period. Then out of nowhere, basically, Leandrin is in a courtyard, basically meeting with Shiriam, the mistress of novices, and she's being played by Rimate Weta. And some other sisters, and they're basically talking about Leandrin wants a whack at breaking Nynaeve's block. Whew. That would be something to see if that's what's going to happen. That would be something to see. But basically, she's forbidden. Alana reminds her, nope, you're forbidden from training novices, because the last one you trained died, which is crazy. What exactly did you do, bro? Anyway, basically, and they're also having problems getting new novices. Basically, the numbers are dwindling, like the book, and they think that it's basically something to be said that basically the wheel has spun out 3 powerful female channelers, Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine. I think they mentioned Elaine, but I could kind of feel like they said 3, but I'm gonna have to go back and watch it if they actually mentioned Elaine. Also, the wheel has also spun out another false dragon in Saldaea. So they all realize basically that the need is great, because obviously the last battle is coming. So next scene, you basically see Nynaeve basically practicing the sword with Alana's warders, Maxim and Ivan, and she's worried about the test, as she should be. I need those tests in the tower. Whew. Anyway, they ask her, why did you come to the tower? And if you can answer that, you'll be fine. I agree. You have to have a greater reason of why you're basically putting yourself through all these tests to know exactly if you're going to be strong enough to survive them. So I'm not mad at that. Then later on, Egwene basically she meets with Alana for a recap. Basically, she goes to her during her office hours in her room, and basically is asking about something. But they're obviously not talking about the same thing. Egwene's basically trying to figure out, trying to talk about juggling weaves, and Alana's basically trying to talk about juggling juggling waters. So anyway, but then Alana realizes what's going on, and then basically drops to me one of the best channeling instruction that I don't know much. I mean, I've read the books plenty of times, and I'm trying to think to myself, like, how many actual weaving instruction do you actually get or see? And so having that, and the pop quiz in the kitchen, and then that right there in her room, that little instruction or tip, is really cool. I really appreciate that, because I don't feel like they had enough of that in the book series. So basically, Alana explains that that she should focus on the earth as a collective mass, basically, not every single grain of dirt, which actually makes sense. You know what I mean? Basically, Egwene's trying to grab every single grain of dirt, and it's just not working. If you basically try to figure it as a mass, then that makes sense. You basically, lump them all together. Anyway, basically back to Nynaeve, and she's down in the kitchen by herself in the dark, basically trying to practice in the kitchen, and she's kind of it looks like she's going through the motions, the usual monologue, a rosebud opening to the sun, and nothing's working. It's not working. Absolutely none of it is working. So, but out of nowhere, Leandrin comes in to the kitchen to help. She's so kind. And basically gives Nynaeve a lesson. And she basically takes a page out of Swan Sanche's training book from the books, and basically takes air. Well, first she shows a sword that she can make out of. She says that basically you're wasting your time, training with the waters on swords. She says I can make a sword out of air. She shows her she makes a sword out of air, and then she actually takes the air and just basically pins Nynaeve to the wall. But Nynaeve is so strong that she basically gets mad and returns the favor and basically pins her to the wall. But then, and kind of breaks free herself, and she's on the floor. But then Leandrin, of course, shields her. So basically she feels like naked and afraid out in the kitchen there. But Leandrin tells her that she should use her anger. No. Yes, but no. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Thank you, Yoda. He be dropping bars. Listen to the man. Figure out it won't be the anger that sets you free. Anyway, then she tells her not to refuse the test when it's offered to her. And then she walks out. Dangerous, but we'll see how it goes. Back in her room, Egwene basically has a lantern, and Nynaeve realizes that it's been a year since they've left. Yeah, they spent a long time on the road, and it's actually Beltane again, basically. And basically she has a lantern on her bed. And that's how Nynaeve realizes. And they've received a letter from Perrin. And Nynaeve goes ahead and reads it to them. It's very sweet and basically says that, he's thinking about them. And then he talks about standing alone with a shield and how you are exposed. But if you stand together, nothing can touch any of you. And I really, really like that, because it just really made me feel like Perrin is spreading the main idea of the whole entire book series, which together we are stronger. And that's basically the entire point of the series. Then come to find out, they move from that, and come to find out, Leandrin has had Mat somewhere this whole entire time. I don't know if they're in the tower or wherever the hell they are, basically, but she's had Mat the entire time. And she's basically saying that, I'm trying to make sure that there's no more effects of the dagger on you. Pshaw. That's all I gotta say. Pshaw. Anyway. But of course, she's there sitting there, and she's reading Perrin's letter to him. And I'm just like, how the hell did she get their letter? But obviously she basically screens everything that comes in for those two. She's obviously going to do that. That's the only smart thing to do. Moraine would do the same exact thing, without a doubt. Absolutely. And so she's reading basically Perrin's letter to them, and they're talking. But of course, she leaves out the part that basically mentions him, because she wants him to feel like they've all forgotten about him, basically, so he feels alone, And apparently, he's actually been there for 6 months. That's how long they've had him. She's had them there, and he's sitting there and he's crying, and he's just like, what more do you want from me? I'm no threat to you. And they start jumping back and forth a little bit through with the different characters. And then Perrin basically is lighting a lantern for Beltane, and they show Egwene and Nynaeve light a lantern, and Nynaeve is basically saying a prayer. And in some forgotten village, Rand is there, and he's lighting a lantern also. And then basically, as soon as Leandrin basically leaves, Mat stops crying immediately, because of course Mat is able to cry on cue, because he's Mat. He's an actor. He knows how to basically pull off a farce. I love him. And as soon as she leaves, he basically picks up a lantern and goes immediately to a wall and starts messing around with a loose brick. And I'm just like, that's Mat right there, man. That is Mat. Always has something brewing. He's not going to stay there and let you just hold him forever. He has things to do. He has his sisters to get back to, or something to worry about, or something to fall into. But either way, you're not going to hold that man down at all. Plain and simple. And, he starts picking at the bricks with a spoon, you know what I mean? And it just feels like any moment now, the shit's going to hit the fan. It just feels like, it's just like, ooh, here we go. So excited. It was a very, very amazing episode. That was basically the end of the episode. And, I just can't wait to see what's basically going to come in episode 2, and what's going to come for the whole entire season. So I want you guys to go ahead in the comments and tell me if you liked anything in the season, or if you disliked anything, basically what your feelings are, where you think they're going. Go ahead and like the episode. If you've been here this long, I hope that basically it's because you liked what I had to say. So go ahead and send me a like. I really appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Thank you in advance. You know what I mean? Drop a comment, share, and subscribe, please. I really appreciate it. Also, You can definitely follow me here, subscribe, and also you can find me on podcasts. This isn't only a video show. I'm putting all my episodes on podcasts also, so you can find me on Apple Podcasts or you can find me on Spotify, and that'll be is great listening either way. You know what I mean? Also, you can contact me at CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Also, remember too, if you like football, if you ever just wanted to play in a football league, a fantasy football league, you keep hearing people basically talk about it, and you're just like, I don't know what that's about. Go ahead and basically join. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about football, a little bit about football, trust me, there's plenty of people that I've been in leagues with that will surprise you and actually be kind of good. That's because they have a little bit of understanding about football, or at least numbers. That's all you have to know. You have to know numbers. Football is more so, it's about feeling. It's about the football gods, but it's about the numbers. You know what I mean? So let me know if you basically feel interested. Hit me up in my email, CallMeNakomi@gmail.com, and let me know if you feel like you want to play. Or for any other reasons, you have any comments or any questions, go ahead and hit me up. And as always, I appreciate y'all coming out. I appreciate the fact that this was a shorter episode than usual. I hope you appreciate it too. I'm going to try to definitely keep them in this format where I'm basically just reviewing each group at a time, so I can basically just tell that whole full story, unless basically it's jumping around and needs to basically jump that way because of the fact that it's how the story basically is laid out. So, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you come back for the next one. Coming soon. Episode 2, season 2. Okay? So, love you guys. Appreciate you coming out. And may you always find water and shade.